My sister's son threw my graduation cake on the floor and said, "Eat it off the ground." Then I had imagined my graduation day 100 different ways, but never like this. Never with my family turning it into a humiliation I would never forget. The ceremony itself was perfect, my name being called, the applause, the feeling of finally achieving something I had worked years for. I was glowing with pride when I walked into my sister's house for the small celebration she insisted on hosting. She said she wanted to make it special. She said she wanted everyone together. She said she had planned something nice. I believed her. I shouldn't have. The moment I stepped in, all I saw was chaos. Her 10-year-old son, Liam, was already running around screaming, throwing toys, and my sister, Claire, just sat on the couch scrolling her phone, ignoring him like always. My parents were there too, laughing at something on TV instead of acknowledging me. I stood in the doorway, holding a beautifully decorated graduation cake I had bought with my own money. "Hey," I said softly, "can we put this in the kitchen?" Claire barely glanced up. Yeah. Just put it somewhere. Liam's excited, so don't leave it where he can reach it." She said this while Liam was basically climbing the furniture behind her. I tried to stay calm. It was my day. Nothing would ruin it. I placed the cake on the table and went to greet everyone. I was hoping someone, anyone, would congratulate me properly. But my dad just said, "So what's next? Any job yet?" Mom added, "Degrees don't mean much these days. Better start applying quickly. Not even a 'we're proud of you.'" I swallowed the sting and forced a smile. "Let's cut the cake first?" Everyone gathered around, and for a moment, it felt almost normal. I lit the candles, leaned forward to make a wish. And that's when it happened. Liam, smirking like he'd been planning this, sprinted across the room, shoved past me, grabbed the cake box with both hands, and threw my graduation cake onto the floor with full force. The cake splattered. Frosting everywhere. Candles broken. The room went silent. My heart dropped. "Liam. What is wrong with you?" I shouted. He stood there, grinning proudly like he'd accomplished something heroic. Then he said the words I'll never forget. "If you want cake so bad, eat it off the ground." It felt like a slap, no, like a punch straight to my chest. Before I could react, Claire exploded, not at Liam, but at me. "Don't yell at my child," she snapped. "He's just excited. You know how he gets. He ruined my graduation cake," I said, shaking. "Claire, he did that on purpose." But she crossed her arms, glaring. "He's a kid. It's not that big of a deal. Stop being dramatic over a stupid cake." A stupid cake. My parents nodded in agreement. Dad said, "You shouldn't leave things where he can reach them." Mom added, "It's your celebration, so take responsibility. Buy another one if it matters that much." I stared at all of them, speechless. My graduation, my day, reduced to a joke. My family treating me like I was the problem. Liam laughed again, pointing at the destroyed cake like it was entertainment. Something inside me cracked wide open. This wasn't just disrespect. This wasn't just a ruined cake. This was years and years of being the responsible one, the quiet one, the one who never caused trouble, being treated like I didn't matter. I knelt down, not to pick up the cake, but to look directly at Liam. "You think it's funny?" I said softly. He nodded smugly. I stood up slowly, looked at all three of them, my sister, my parents, and for the first time in my life, I didn't hold back my anger. I didn't shout. I didn't cry. I just said, "Okay. If this is how you treat me on my biggest day, then you're about to see a version of me you've never met." They laughed. They shouldn't have. Because that day? That humiliation? That cake on the floor? It was only the beginning. The room went silent after my nephew smashed my cake, but the silence didn't last long. My sister, Maya, crossed her arms and smirked like she was proud of him. "He's just a kid," she said loudly. "Stop being dramatic." "It was an ugly cake anyway." My aunt gasped. My cousin whispered, "What is wrong with her?" But Maya didn't care. She kept laughing with her friends like this was some kind of comedy show. My nephew, still smiling, came closer and actually nudged the cake with his shoe. "Pick it up," he repeated, like a dog. My hand shook, not from sadness anymore, but from a cold, sharp anger I had never felt before. Years of being the ignored one, the quiet one, the easy-to-blame one were rising like fire in my chest. I bent down, not to pick up the cake, but to pick up my phone. My sister rolled her eyes. "Oh look, she's going to cry on social media again." But I wasn't crying. I opened the family group chat. The one where my parents, aunts, uncles, and grandparents were all waiting for graduation pictures. I snapped a clear photo of the cake on the floor, smashed, frosting smeared, decorations ruined. Then I typed, "This was my graduation cake." Maya's son threw it on the ground. She told me to eat it off the floor. "I'm leaving. Please don't contact me for the rest of the day." Before Maya could stop me, before anyone could react, I hit send. My sister lunged toward me. "What is your problem?" "Delete that." But messages started popping up instantly. "Grandma." "What?" "Maya, explain yourself right now." "Uncle Sam." "That boy needs discipline. This is disgusting behavior." "Mom. Is this true?" Maya's face turned red, then pale, then red again. She grabbed my phone, but I pulled it away. "You think embarrassing me will fix anything?" she hissed. "No," I said calmly. "But it shows everyone how you truly treat me." My nephew suddenly stopped smiling. He looked confused, like no one had ever told him he was wrong before. Maya sputtered, "He's just a kid." "And you're his mother," I replied. "And you encouraged him." People started pulling out their phones. My aunt whispered to someone. My uncle shook his head in disappointment. Maya wasn't laughing anymore. She grabbed her son and said, "We're leaving. This party is over." But before she could walk out, my father arrived at the door, breathless. "I saw the picture," he said. "Maya. Apologize. Now." My sister froze. My nephew hid behind her. I stood still, waiting. Maya's jaw clenched. She looked at the cake, at the people judging her, then at me. "I'm not apologizing to her," she spat. "She deserved it. She always thinks she's better than us because she graduated." My dad's expression hardened in a way I had never seen before. "That's enough," he said quietly. And in that moment, I realized. This wasn't going to end with an apology. It was going to end with a consequence. Something Maya never saw coming. Something she absolutely deserved. When Maya stormed out, the room felt strangely lighter, like years of tension had finally been exposed to air. I stood there quietly, unsure whether to feel relieved or embarrassed. But then my grandma walked up, placed her hand on my shoulder, and said softly, "You didn't deserve that. Not today. Not ever." Others nodded. Even relatives who never took my side looked genuinely upset. For the first time in years, I wasn't invisible. Dad cleared his throat. "We're not letting this ruin your day. Everyone sit. We'll figure out the cake later." I shook my head. "No, Dad. It's okay. I'm done pretending everything is fine. I just want to go home." But as I turned to leave, Dad stopped me. "Wait. There's something you should see. He stepped outside and returned with a small white box. Inside was a beautiful mini cake with my name written perfectly on top. We knew Maya's son can be reckless, he said. So your aunt suggested keeping a second one just in case. You worked too hard for this degree. We weren't letting anyone ruin it. My chest tightened. I didn't expect to cry, but the tears came anyway, quiet, relieved, honest. Everyone gathered around the table. Cameras came out. People smiled. And for the first time, the celebration was actually about me. After the photos, Dad sighed. You know you don't have to tolerate her behavior anymore. Family isn't supposed to hurt you like that. Set your boundaries. We'll respect them. His words felt like the closure I had been silently begging for. Later that night, my phone buzzed. A message from Maya. You embarrassed me. Delete the post. I stared at it for a long moment, then typed back. I didn't embarrass you. You did that yourself. And I blocked her. I didn't shout. I didn't argue. I didn't chase her approval. I just walked away. The next day, Maya texted me. Proud of you. Not for graduating, though of course for that too, but for finally choosing yourself. I smiled. Maybe I didn't get the big fancy party my sister always did. Maybe I didn't get the perfect family moment. But what I did get was peace. And the realization that I didn't lose a sister, I gained myself.